Another divisive issue between you, the both of you has been the abortion issue. And Mr. Edwards, you've taken a strong stand against abortion. In a New Hampshire Right to Life questionnaire, you had checked off that you opposed allowing abortion even in cases of rape or incest. You've said that Congress would never vote directly on this. But what's the message that you're trying to convey with this position, and as it regards the federal government involvement?
For me, I learned about life from my grandmother, my mother, the appreciation of that. I'm a pro-life candidate. I welcomed 2 lives into this world, held them in my hand, my daughters. And that's informed my decision. My grandmother, my mother, and my daughters, my wife, about life. I respect life. I appreciate life. I'm a pro-life candidate.
Okay. Mr. Pappas, the so-called abortion pill ends a pregnancy up to 10 weeks. The governor of California recently vetoed a bill that would have required the state university system to stock that pill on campus for students. Do you think UNH should carry this pill, and should public money be used for it?
I think it's important that individuals and women have access to the full range of reproductive health care choices. That's why I've been a strong supporter of Planned Parenthood and have supported our state's family planning program, which provides individuals with contraception and basic care and annual exams, so that it has historically over time lowered our abortion rate. I think we can work together in a way that makes sure that people have access to affordable health care in the state at Planned Parenthood and other providers, and I'll support that in Congress. Unfortunately, this is a difference between myself and my opponent. He believes in defunding Planned Parenthood. He also would criminalize abortion even in the cases of rape and incest. I don't think that's the right move for the women of New Hampshire, and I would look to support their rights, make sure that their constitutionally protected right is still in place, regardless of what's happening on the Supreme Court, and I would oppose any legislation that would chip away at it.
Mr. Edwards, you've been invoked. 30 seconds.
You know, I'm really disappointed in Chris because he's began lying about me a few weeks ago, and he's continued this pattern of behavior. The fact of the matter is that here's a place where we should be able to find common ground. I'm a pro-life candidate. He's a pro-choice candidate. He believes in late-term abortions. He believes in government-funded abortions. I disagree with him. Isn't it possible that we get to a place where we have fewer abortions and fewer unwanted pregnancies? Isn't that what we should be talking about? But he wants to use this as somehow an attack on women. There are many women in this country who feel the way I do about life, about protecting life. And so at the end of the day, this is about trying to find common ground.
Mr. Pappas, 30 seconds.
Well, I was highlighting a position that you took in a survey that you answered. And I think it's important that we're honest with the voters of New Hampshire about what our position is, especially on a crucial issue like this. I would protect a woman's right to choose, and I would make sure that individuals have access to the full range of reproductive health care choices.
Getting back to the question, Mr. Pappas, do you think publicly funded abortion pills should be made available at UNH?
I don't think they need to be provided at UNH.